Not right
I know.
there.
Good morning, Richland County. It is 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, July 13th. Richland County Board of Commissioners is now in session. I'm Richland County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow commissioners Tony Barrow, Darrell Banks, our clerk Stacy Crawl, Drew Keller. Carl Hull is here from the media, and we have Captain Jimmy Sweat, Captain Blunk, and Missy Houghton from Dog Shelter. And we're going to be talking about the Tyler Technology Amendment.
It's the ultimate Hydra wallet duo, I think we got right now.
And online, we also have
Al.
Al Lawrence Journal. So
This is actually going to be in like two different parts. Actually, it's the sheriff's office section and then what Missy has with her project. So you want to go first?
I would like to point out that I am the junior portion of the Hydro Wall.
Nick Vickers catching up, by the way. I mean, the three of you together left alone is very dangerous to the pocketbooks of the tech, but.
No, actually, we're saving the populace.
oh, tell us more.
Yeah, wait, you're saving money? We have.
I just said we're saving the lives of the public.
Oh, okay.
What's on it?
Oh, that's spin. Well, all right, Missy, I'm sure you're first as a junior member. His request will be for more money, so.
Yes, I am requesting $1,409.97. So that just a tiny amount for the purchase of a computer and a signature capture for the shelter. So that we can continue in the progress of moving to a paperless system at the shelter. The computer is to put in our clinic so that way the shelter staff has access to it, because that is where we keep the medication for our dogs, so that they can put that into the system as they're planning the medication schedule for the dogs, so that they don't have running up front to access those computers. And then the wireless signature capture is so the adoption process, we can move that to the paperless process as well. So we have them sign an adoption agreement and they can just use that for it. The county has a monitor that they can use, so we are not asking for any money for that. So they said that they would just let us have that so that the adopters can read the contract through that monitor. So that is just what we need, and that will help us hopefully finish the process completely paperless. Any portion.
I think it makes sense. Talk to Nate about why we want it. You just explained it. We have money in capital for this very reason, so I'll make the motion that we use capital funds to approve the request from our dog warden.
I'll second that with the comment that I did visit Missy and she showed me the new software that they're using out there. It seems very complete and certainly a much easier way and a more accurate way to keep track of all the dogs and what all has to be done with the dog, as well as the adoption process and the money that comes in. So I think
And I checked just this morning to see our number of dogs. So Missy gave me a quick tutorial it's pretty cool. Now you can't see the font if you're on a laptop. It's about this big.
sounds like your email.
Yeah. I mean, increase that font.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta do the default, but it was great. Yeah, I could see real-time dog information. I could see people who've made complaints or if we had issues with certain dogs. It was excellent. So.
Yeah. Especially on the activity level, as far as if we get complaints and things like that, that is incredibly helpful. Prior to this, we've just had to rely on deputy knowledge or recollection, and that is a way to handle complaints and things of that nature, or, digging through mountains of paperwork. So you can just simply log on and see if we've dealt with this person or if we've dealt with this address, and it just pulls up how many incidents we've had there, or if the dog is dangerous, if it has a history of biting and everything of that nature. So as we put in more information, it's definitely going to become very useful.
More effective operation, paperless
100%.
technology, and reasonable cost. So who can ask for more? Right?
Yeah, it's weird how
The
the
Library of Congress they have back there with their index cards. How anything was found there, I have no idea. That 6 months that I helped out was I was losing my mind
Mhm.
just because of how backwards and behind the time
Not
that.
anymore, baby.
No,
No, we're moving on up.
absolutely. And then the last part of that is they're tying directly back to us with their laptops and their cruisers, which will be the part of the Tyler project that when we get to that point, there'll be connectivity with us
Mhm.
for dispatching and whatnot. So
Richland County Dog Shelter at the cutting edge of
That's
technology.
right, baby. NASA's next.
That's us to the moon.
Right,
and back.
yeah.
Yeah, and back.
Gotta get back.
Right.
Gotta get back.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
The second part of our project that we're here to speak about today with the Tyler software are additional modules, as for lack of terminology, or add-ons that we're asking for the Tyler project. They're broken down and that there's really two. There's some that have to do with the CAD, and we'll go item by line item. But I wanted to start off by saying that we're not asking today for additional monies to be appropriated. We are here to let you know that we have money in our current budgets to cover these additions. So we will not be asking for additional funding. We are just asking for approval as you are the contractual agent with the county. So it'll be an add-on or an amendment to our original proposal we had that. Just kind of some cliff notes. As you can see there on page one, $19,850 is the Tyler software. Services are $7,708. So the total one-time upfront cost, what we're looking at is $87,558. And then the additional yearly maintenance and your fees are probably approximately $9,000, well, $10,000 will be the additionals. We'll be able to cover all of those between the three budgets in our that we have for our contract services. We had already factored in, we were going to have some unknowns when we submitted our budget for contract services for both the jail, 911, and law enforcement. Because of this project, this will stay within that margin of error that we had when we had submitted our original budget. So we will not need additional funding for that either. This kind of a Cliff Notes version, we can go down. And Captain Blunk can jump in specifically when we get, if you have questions about the jail parts of it. But anyways, corrections intelligence toolkit, investigation toolkit, basically, this is going to allow them to have, when Tyler came in and we sat down face to face with them for the first time, there were some questions that we had going into it that we weren't sure how things were going to work exactly. Because it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know until you learn that you don't know it. So all of these add-ons are basically things that are going to make the process smoother. And we better understand the product now. So we understand that these are better fits for us to have these add-ons. The integration toolkit basically is going to allow them the ability to interface a little bit more with some of the outside services that they have. The civil process, the reason that we're asking for that is that we did not realize and it was not available actually. When we first started this process, Tyler acquired another third party that deals with sheriff sales and online forward facing information. So this interface, which is $5,000, allows us to directly interface with the online auction site that we're required to use and our local online website to advertise our sales for sheriff sales. So be it both tax foreclosures and the bank foreclosures that we're required to do. This will make it seamless for our person. And it's the extra money to build those connections to make those things happen.
This is separate and distinct from Gov Deals.
Yes, this has nothing to do with Gov Deals. Yes, sir. So Gov Deals is public property. This is what we're talking about here are the interfaces for the online real auction for bank foreclosures that were required by Ohio law to sell all of our foreclosures to the bank online. And then our tax foreclosures are still held here locally, but we do advertise those on the county website. I has to manually enter stuff and our Susan, our clerk, she manually sends things over to them and then they put it on the website. They link it with some things. This will take care of all of that automatically. Once they enter it into the system then will push it out and take care of that. So the mobile enforcement, adding of an additional municipal court. Initially, when we first started this, we were not under the understanding that Shelby would be able to participate. They are able to participate with us.
Now, wait a minute. Where's Maryland? Shelby's gonna come in. They're not gonna have their own thing or anything? Where's Maryland at?
This is Shelby Municipal Court, so we will be able to electronically send our cases, citations, e-summonses, criminal summonses to the court up in Shelby also. So we needed to add them into the process.
How do you do it now?
Paper.
Oh.
And then we hand deliver everything to them. So that takes care of that. Under the enterprise corrections, the big one's going to be, if you work down through onto basically page 3, it goes through all the stuff. So the enterprise corrections, and Captain Bunker can speak directly to this, but overview, this is going to allow them to create their own reports. There were some reports that we initially anticipated that the system was going to be able to handle, but they didn't work exactly the way we wanted them to work, especially in the correction setting. So this is going to allow them to create any report, however they want the report, anything they need to do. And then, and Captain, if you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, I spent the last 2 days with Tyler, and this is the report module of it. They're actually gonna train our IT to create the reports that we need. Some of them are for state, some for federal, and reports that that are mandated that we have to provide. Another report is the who's in jail. We want to keep that service, that online where the public can check. We want to keep that. We'll create that. One of the biggest things and tools that we now have, I have a assigned supervisor that does our color coded roster for all the courts, probation, county, city. I mean, anybody that you think of in law enforcement that gets this color coded system, it kind of breaks down which inmate which court that inmate belongs to. You know, it could be for billing, it could be for bed space. However, that breaks down. We spend probably an hour a day doing that color coded roster because the current JMS is unable to create the report. We should be able to create this report along with this. So that's an hour a day by a supervisor that hopefully will be put towards better use.
Motion to approve. Second.
There's one more portion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I just want to make
I
sure.
just wanted to get it when you said, hey, we already had the money set aside. I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
The last part of this is the addition of one additional CAD to CAD. With another local agency deciding to go a different route, we will need to have a connectivity to that agency's CAD so we can send them the calls electronically.
CAD meaning,
Computer on.
Period dispatch.
okay,
So when we initially get the 911 calls, we only thought we were going to need one CAD to CAD interface to connect with Shelby and Lexington. We thought that Ontario is coming with us. We thought Mansfield then would be also coming with us. So we did not include that CAD to CAD, but it's an additional $17,600 to connect our CAD to Mansfield's CAD since they've decided to go a different direction.
For now.
So. But that was the last part of that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Sum it up for you.
That's it. Unless you.
They may have questions here.
You, Carl.
Back to the beginning, where does this computer go? Is it into any conclusion? One that they approved today, or is this for the office use?
That is, it's for the office use. It will be in our actual clinic.
And since Tony brought it up, how many dogs do you have this morning?
112.
Is that seems to be high even by recent standards? Is that kind of the new high?
What did you say? July 1st, we had 96.
I did. I wanted to look at start of the month and then as of today. So we were going up from 96 to it said 111 in the system, Missy.
It was 112 because there was one that needed put in that was brought in last.
Okay, so that didn't hit the system, so.
None of them had puppies, did they?
That's how we have spay and neutering, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We did that too.
Gosh, that gave me like a slight heart attack. I was like, oh no.
No, at least that's the point.
That'll be your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. I thought just kick whatever the question I had in my head, just kick it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah, with at some point. Sweat, so there's what is the additional cost of the stuff you're talking about? I know you say you
Yeah.
got it, but you're not asking for more. What is the cost?
The software was 19,850. The services portion is 67,000 $708. So the total one-time cost is $87,558. And then there's recurring maintenance and some travel costs that are included in there, but reoccurring maintenance for the software and fees are approximately 10,000.
What does this bump the total project up to?
We're probably,
A million.
oh, well, it's been over 1 million. It was over 1.5 million when we started. So about 1.7 million now, 1.8 million, I think is pretty close. By the time you add the infrastructure, I mean, not all of that's going to Tyler because we have infrastructure costs that are going to other vendors. But yeah, about 1.7 million, I think is where we're at, including the dog warden's piece.
It sounds like Missy's part is up and running. What's the status or the go live date?
Yeah, we're looking at April of next year. They're currently on site. They're working with each of our groups. They've been on site for our RMS part of the project. They were on site last week with the ANCAD, and then this last week or this week currently, they're on site getting the jail operation. So it's really a long process because what's happening is they send us a bunch of questionnaires that we fill out to get an understanding of how we do business so they can build the system to mirror what we do. So it's less hassle for us when we do that. And then the next part is they come on site and marry up what we've told them, how we do things with how they actually view us to do things. And they get able to provide us with insight about how to build the product to better make us more efficient and to make it a more streamlined process moving forward. And so far, it's been a great process.
And I want to add to that, go live, I think they're doing this in phases, like RMS maybe first. or-
RMS and CAD will be together.
Be together.
Acronyms, please, RMS.
Yes, records management system,
Okay.
computer aided dispatch, and then the mobile format, which is the folks in the field. That'll all be kind of turned on at the same time. And then we will look from there to add the jail.
The jail go live date is July of 24 so far.
Now, I know you were talking about Mansfield going a different direction. If I remember what the chief said at a council meeting, he said what they were going with is a better fit for them because they don't have a jail. They don't need to worry about that part of it. And they thought, I forget the name of the company that they're going with.
Central Square,
Yeah, how difficult, and they had a version of Central Square.
correct.
How difficult is it going to be to link up Tyler with Central Square?
There's not going to be any I shouldn't say that because there's never, we're optimistic that it should be a smooth transition. Because Tyler and Central Square are both big enough companies that they have a history of already doing these connections. So.
And I remember the other question, Missy, when Kevin Sweat mentioned stacks of cards. You're gonna have great information going forward. Or at any point, do you go into the stack of cards and try to put historic information into the new system?
Yeah, we're doing that in between, when we get chances, we're backdating information in there as well.
What I have.
I always feel good about investments in resident safety, officer safety.
And this captures it all. And the great thing about this project for you from the commissioner standpoint is it affects every single visitor and every single resident of Richland County.
We're gonna have a lot of visitors and residents this weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and no one goes untouched with this project.
Al, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Well, as always, thank you, gentlemen
Thanks, guys.
and ma'am. The lady gets it all done.
Order of business.
Thank you.
How many weeks?
35 days until we get the valley. In the valley, 35 days.
Ooh.
I'm not. Hey, there it is.
Don't be, it's the old Lou Hole. It's every team's the best you play, right?
Got a new coach.
Bro, I know Brokaw. He's a good guy.
Are now scheduled for an executive session with Job and Family Service to discuss union negotiations and Benson here and Kelly stepped out for a second, but I expect she's gonna be back shortly.
There she is.
Yeah.
Have a motion to go into executive session.
So second.
Guess I'm gonna fill out the tape recorder, huh?
That would help.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Fairbanks.
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Oh,
It's 10:09. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session, out of executive session, with no action to be taken at this time. You, Lori. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you all.
Moving on to other business. We have a motion to certify the record proceedings for July 11th.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
thanks,
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the short list of requisitions.
Second. That is about the shortest list.
Yeah,
Because Munis being down.
yeah, Munis is down.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
I have a motion to authorize Children's Services to dispose of 4 vehicles, all of which are 2013 Ford Focuses.
Fair condition.
So moved.
Make that. I'll second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks.
Yeah.
Barrow.
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the use of our front lawn for Silent Watch event, which takes place on September 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
and the last order of business we have right now on the agenda is to approve the notice of ARPA expenditure of $400,000 for asphalt surfacing with Kokosing.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes,
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Barrow.
Oh. And the rationale for my no is I'm supportive of the project. I just think it should stay in revenue loss. Where we originally had it, and Andrew Keller and I had a fun discussion over that, because I think we're gonna have to move it back there anyway. And I'm still holding out hope that we can do the community center project, so I just feel it should stay in revenue loss at this time. And when we have to move it back to revenue loss, Mr. Keller's gonna have to take me to a lunch for this, so. Let's put that in the minutes as well.
I think we're all in the record that we expect we may have to move it back to, we expect to.
And I will give you the highest, I told all of you so, and dance in the conference room here.
I like the flexibility this gives us, but we'll see how it goes.
Like Hudson, you guys, so for lunch, that's one for all of you.
or any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners at this time? Is anybody online right now?
Al is.
Al, do you have any questions about what we discussed here?
Yeah, a couple. This 400,000, was this for the contract you just approved on Tuesday?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Okay.
It's not all of it, though. It's a portion out.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that was the one on Millsboro Road.
Yeah.
From 314 to Lex, Ontario, and Cook Road, to Trimble. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
the ones.
that was Tuesdays. The other thing is, do you have any idea what the silent watch thing is?
Oh, yeah, let me give you the rundown on that. That is a Silent Watch is a recognition of veteran suicides, I believe. It was created to bring awareness to the community of the escalating numbers of veteran suicides. They set up props, usually an empty casket with a flag draped over the top and pictures. And they have somebody silently standing guard or watch for 15 to 20-minute increments throughout the duration of the event, which is on Saturday, September 16th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I think this is the 3rd year they've done it.
Yeah.
In our front yard.
Yeah, I remember somebody doing something with front yard, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all I had then. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Al. Bring no other business. The Richland County Board of Commissioners stands adjourned at 10:13.